In this video, I'm going to continue summarizing the quest lore for the Worgen starting zone. And yes, as the thumbnail says, we're going to talk about which race was the original Worgen. And no, it wasn't the humans or the Gilneans. And a little hint, the answer is straight from the quest lore that a lot of people skipped over. So this picks up where we left off last week, and if you want to catch up from the beginning, then go ahead and click this link right over here. But if you're ready to go, then let's jump in and find out what's going on in World of Warcraft. Last time we left off heading for Greymane Manor to speak with the Queen and tell her about what's going on with the evacuation. She says that she's heard a lot about you and that maybe you should speak with King Greymane about what's going on. He's been locked up in his observatory ever since this ordeal started. So you head upstairs and make your way towards the top of the tower. Once you arrive, you speak with King Greymane. He says that he's been expecting you, but then asks you if you felt that rumble just now. Gen then says to look at Duskhaven, which really was the last safe place in Gilneas. Well, not anymore because the entire town has completely collapsed due to the earthquake. So I guess the evacuation was a smart move. But now you see that the Forsaken have returned in full force. King Greymane says that we need to get everyone further inland and tells you to head to the stables below the manor so that you can get everyone onto the carriages and head eastbound. Now you head down from the observatory, and once you reach the stables, you jump onto one of the carriages and ride out from the manor, passing the now destroyed Duskhaven, as well as the main city of Gilneas. Upon crossing the bridge and avoiding attack from the ogres, you find a wrecked carriage and jump off of your own to find out what's going on. By chance, Prince Liam Greymane is there. He tells you that those ogres back there took out his own stagecoach, as well as one that fell into the marsh just north of here. He wants you to head up there and save 5 crashed survivors from the Halewood Marsh. So now you head out to the marsh, and once you get there, you help rescue the crashed survivors by fighting off the swamp crocodilus. Once that's done, you head back to Liam to report. He thanks you for saving the people and rewards you with the paramedic bracers. Liam then says that the Forsaken are right on our heels, and now these ogres are trying to flank us, but they happen to be servants of Koroth. If you remember, he's the Etten that we were trying to avoid back at Crowley's Orchard. Well, Liam says that if we can bait him into charging into the Forsaken forces, then that should buy us some time. But the only way to do this is to make him really upset. So we need to kill 4 of his ogre minions, as well as steal his prized possession, which happens to be a tiger-skinned banner, located up in Koroth's den. So now you head out, and once you arrive at Koroth's area, you kill the 4 ogre minions, and you steal the tiger skin and run away as fast as possible, because you done pissed off Koroth, which was the plan all along. Now that that's done, you head back to report with Prince Liam. He confirms that you made Koroth very upset and hopes that this plan will work. Well, it looks like everything goes well. Liam places the stolen tiger skin on the road, right where the Forsaken plan on showing up. And once they do, Koroth makes his entrance and decimates the Forsaken attackers. Once that's done, Liam says that our carriage drivers were told to regroup in the fishing town of Stormglen, because the scouts report that there might be shelter and supplies there. So you're to meet up with Gwen Armstead, as she's in charge of taking care of the people. So now you make your way to the town of Stormglen, and once you arrive, you meet up with Gwen. She says that it's good that you made it, and that we're not doing too bad for an emergency evacuation. Good news is, mostly everybody made it out. Now here's the deal with Stormglen. The town has been left mostly intact, which makes it a great place for everyone to rest their feet for a night or two, because we've still got the Forsaken making their way inland. So things are good, except for the spiders infesting the other side of town. So Gwen wants you to clean out the area by killing 6 vile brood skitterers. Lorna happens to be in the building too. She says that she found a journal by a man named Bradshaw, but a lot of the pages were missing, especially towards the end of it. If you can find some of those pages, then she might be able to piece together what happened here after the curse broke out. Because who knows, maybe the people here found a way out. And Lorna says that maybe her father is still alive? So while you're out killing spiders, collect 6 pages pertaining to the journal. Now you head out, collect the 6 pages missing from the journal, as well as kill 6 spiders within the area. Once that's done, you head back to report with Lorna and Gwen. Lorna says that it'll take some time to piece the journal back together, but she'll start working on it right away. Gwen says that you did really well taking out the spiders, but we've barely managed to put a dent in their numbers. Because of that, Gwen now wants you to head into the lair, located at the edge of the Blackwald, and kill the brood broodmother named Ragna. This should take care of the infestation. So once again you head out, and make your way to Ragna's lair. Once you arrive, you engage with the broodmother until she dies. Then you make your way back to Stormglen village to report. Gwen says that she's heard of other survivors in the mountains. And now that the spider problem is taken care of, we'll be able to send scouts out there to verify. She then rewards you with the Arachnophobe's breastplate for having taken care of the spider situation. Lorna looks like she's got something with the journal that she's reconstructed. From what the book says, yes, there were survivors of the curse here in town, but they joined others in the mountains in an area called Tempest Reach. Old Man Bradshaw was the only one who remained here in town. He noticed that the Worgen attacks all of a sudden stopped completely. So he decided to venture into the Blackwald. Lorna then tells you that there's an abandoned mill just to the northeast of here, and says that that's where Bradshaw was living. So you might be able to find more clues out there. Once again, you head out from Stormglen, and make your way towards the abandoned mill, located in the Blackwald. Once you arrive, you meet up with Belisra Starbreeze. Beltra? Let's call her Belle. You know I have a hard time with Night Elf names. I butcher them every single time I try it. Anyways, Belle. She says to not be alarmed, and that you may not know of her people, but the destinies of our two races have been linked even before the curse was a thing. She knows what you're looking for, but says that she can't lead you to the answers, because one of Sylvanas' scouts has been tracking you this entire time. So Belle wants you to take this talisman, and let the scout lure you to her trap. Then, once you're in a bind, use the talisman to break free, so you can counterattack. Now you head out from the mill, and walk down the trail until the trap is sprung, which you then use the talisman to break free, and kill the scout. Once that's done, you return to Belle. She said that the scout never had a chance, and rewards you with the high-tailing leggings. Belle then tells you that there are others like you, and that there's a place where you belong. Tal'Daren, or the Wild Home, was once the home of an order of druids who took the shape of wolves. That is the place that you'll find the answers that you seek, as well as an old friend that can offer you some guidance. So you make your way deeper into the Blackwald, until you arrive at Tal'Daren. Once you arrive, you run up and speak to none other than Lord Darius Crowley. I knew he wasn't dead. I had a feeling. He's waited a long time for this day, and is really happy to see you. Darius also thanks you for all that you've done, and especially helping with his daughter Lorna, because she's all that he has left. I'm gonna get some water because my throat is dying. Darius tells you that the Night Elves have taught the people here a lot about who they are and where they come from. And thanks to the Night Elves and this place, the Worgen here have regained free will. As for the Forsaken, they aren't here just for the land, but they're looking for an artifact that's capable of spreading the curse to all of humanity. And Sylvanas' banshees have come really close to finding it. So Darius wants you to kill 6 howling banshees to minimize their chances. Now you run up to Vassandra Stormclaw. She gives you the breakdown of how the curse began. I'll sum it up for you. A bunch of Night Elf druids let a demonic force overtake them, thus throwing off the balance that the druids had sworn to protect, banishing them to the Emerald Dream, where they live in eternal sleep, under a tree very identical to this one, but not before the curse had spread to others. So today, Vassandra wants to restore that balance, and wants you to bring her 6 moon leaves, which will be used in the ceremony to come. So now you head out, pick up the moon leaves, as well as kill the banshees within the area. Once that's all done, you head back to Tal'Daren and report with Lord Darius Crowley. He says that you're as good as he remembered. Darius then goes on to mention that ever since the Forsaken invaded Gilneas, we've tried to keep this artifact that the Forsaken are looking for, which is called the Scythe of Elune. Well, they've tried to keep it a secret, moving it to different hiding spots every single night. The Dark Rangers got really close, but never could find it. Until now. They were spotted at the Woods End cabin to the west of here. Darian wants you to head out there and then use the blowhorn of Tal'Daren once you reach the cabin, signaling Tobias and his trackers to engage with the Dark Rangers, thus allowing you to sneak inside and grabbing the scythe before they can take it back to Sylvanas. Now you run up to Vassandra Stormclaw and give her the moon leaves that you collected. She says that these simple leaves grow by Elune's grace and will help you in permanently earning mastery over the beast. So basically we're not going to need those potions from Krenin anymore after the ceremony's done, which is nice. So now you head out to the west end of the Blackwald, and once you arrive at the cabin, you use the horn, and once the battle breaks out, you head inside and steal back the Scythe of Elune. Then you make your way back to Tal'Daren, and speak with Darius Crowley, who says that he knew he could count on you, then goes on to say that it's time. and says that the potion that you took at Duskhaven, pretty much the one that's helping you control the beast that's inside of you, won't last forever. Now, if you haven't caught on yet from what the Night Elves were saying, Darius mentions that the first cursed Worgen were Night Elf druids, who abandoned the balance that the rest of their kind embraced, basically allowing the beast to take over their minds. So it's only fitting that the Night Elves be the ones that deliver us from this curse. So there you go. Humans or Gilneans were never the original Worgen. Night Elf druids were. So Darius tells you to drink from 3 separate wells: the Well of Tranquility, the Well of Balance, and the Well of Fury, thus making peace with yourself. So you RP walk over to the wells and drink from each one. After that's done, you run back up to Darius. He says that the ceremony is done and that you're now one of us. He then rewards you with either the Sharp Edge of Balance or the Sharpened Wolf's Tool as a welcoming present. Darius tells you to return to Stormglen and tell the people that it's safe to pass through the Blackwall so that they can make their way to Tempest Reach. That's when King Greymane, Lord Godfrey, and Lorna Crowley show up. Here's what happened. Lorna is excited to see her dad, who she thought was dead. Yay. Godfrey demands that Darius and his elven allies serve alongside the king's army. Gen says that he's come to this place as an equal, and that they'll unite to take out the Forsaken. Godfrey doesn't like that at all. Darius and Gen understand that it's not the law that binds them, but something much stronger. So now you head back to Stormglen Village to tell them that they can pass through the Blackwall. Once you arrive, you speak with Gwen Armstead. She tells you that King Greymane gave her a brief rundown about what's gonna happen regarding heading through the Blackwall, which seems completely crazy to her, but she says that you should head out to Tempest Reach and catch up with the king. He and Krenin went out there after Godfrey confirmed that there are survivors in that region. So now you head out to meet up with Krenin at the bridge before Tempest Reach. Once you arrive, you speak with Krenin, who tells you that Lord Godfrey has betrayed and taken the king as prisoner. So what went down is Godfrey made a deal with 2 Eastern lords, those being Baron Ashbury and Lord Walden. And they want to make a deal with the Forsaken, and in exchange they'll hand over King Greymane. So Krenin wants you to use a potion that will allow you to go invisible. And while you're in sneaky mode, you're to head into Tempest Reach and assassinate the 2 Eastern Lords. So you make your way into Tempest Reach, use the potion to go invisible, allowing you to kill Baron Ashbury and Lord Walden. Then you sneak up to King Greymane, who tells you that he wishes that this could have been avoided, and says that we should resolve this without further bloodshed, which then you're awarded the blue bloodied boots and Lord Walden's top hat. Yep, another pair of blood-filled boots. Just like what we got back in Dunmorrow. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then check out that episode over here. Why Blizzard thinks I want to put on a pair of bloodied boots, you got me. So once you talk to the king, Gen tells Godfrey that it's over and that he has no support from any of the Eastern Lords because, well, they're dead. Godfrey says that he'd rather die than have one of your kind for a king, and runs away jumping off of a cliff. Yeah, I know that he didn't just completely off himself, but it did look like he jumped off of a cliff. All right, Godfrey. Take care, I guess. So King Greymane says that they found a mining town currently occupied by the Forsaken to the north of here. Lorna, Liam, and a few men have been sent to the stables outside of the town to begin operations. You're to speak to Lord Hewell to obtain a horse to head out there. King Greymane will stay behind to organize the final push to reclaim the city of Gilneas. So now you speak with Lord Hewell and get a horse to head out to the stables up in the north. Once you arrive, you run up to Lorna to find out what you need to do in order to help with the current Forsaken situation on the occupied town. I really thought that we were gonna get done with this zone, but it's really long. So next week we'll try again to wrap this area up. But so far we've learned a lot about the Worgens and how they came to be. But I really am looking forward to jumping ahead and covering the quest lore of the Maw, which we're gonna start after the Worgen stuff is done. So if this is the content that you like to watch, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and that like button as well. It does help a lot over here on my end. And a special thank you to the Patreon subscribers for supporting this channel. If you'd like to help out, then check out the link down below. And with that, we'll see you next time when we find out what happens next in the Tales of Azeroth. So Belle wants you to take this